My guest today is one of the people who can make Trackmania great again, and is already on the way to doing so with getting Trackmania back at Paris Games Week. He has also made a big organization join the game, so there's a lot to talk about with the man himself, softyB. softyB, how are you, man?
Hello, NMG. Well, I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, as always, I'm hyped to talk with some people of Trackmania and to listen to some Trackmania talk. For people who don't know who you are and what you do, can you sort of tell us?
Well, I'm softyB. My name is Omar. I will have 20 years old in 1 month. In real life, I'm studying economics right now. And on the game, I'm the founder of Trackmania ProLeague and the GamersOrigin Trackmania manager and coach. And I guess that's it about me.
Yeah, if you can sort of start with the beginning of your sort of career in Trackmania before we get into the Pro League. I remember my partner in HuntMania, Johnny, he contacted me saying that there was a guy who said that he wanted to start a team cup with a lot of prize money and go up against ESL. I was like, okay, this guy's crazy. He has never hosted any events. And you wanted help from Johnny. So I was telling Johnny, well, maybe you have to see how much time you have,
Yeah.
and then he supported you, and you got sort of on the way to such greatness. But can you tell us what was your idea before joining the game and starting the Access Team Cup?
Well, actually, for those who don't know, I'm really new to the tech scene. I've been playing Trackmania for 10 years. Most of my time was on NASCAR, on TMNF. I've played like 7 or 8 years in NASCAR. But then in like 3 years ago, I would say, I joined TM2. I started playing NASCAR again. But then NASCAR was a bit boring for me, so I've tried like some tech servers, mini tech servers, and I enjoyed it. So from that, I always enjoyed organizing tournaments, even though I haven't like done a lot of tournaments before XSTC, but some of them, well, some of tournaments before. But that was a point where I really enjoy more than playing the game itself. So yeah, I joined the game, the tech scene, like not even 3 years ago, like 2 years ago, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'm really really new to the scene, and I've joined some teams, and all along, like I really wanted as well to handle a team and manage it because that was something that was really interesting for me. Again, more than playing the game itself, because I was not that good on tech, and I'm still not that good, even though I'm getting a bit better now. But yeah, I created a team with some average players that I've met during like on the Minitech servers, and then I had the idea to contact some organization. I don't know why, because the team was really bad, to be honest. We had like some players that were average, I would say, but like not the top players that I have now in Gamers Origin. And I've contacted some organization and Excess. I don't know why, but they accepted to have a team, an average team in their lineup, and so on. I worked with Excess with my team. It was pretty good, I would say. Um, and then, for those who knows, at that time, Smartline, the team managed by Shumi, they disbanded, and they had a lot of French players that were good and could be good in the future on Trackmania, like Papu, Orel, Cheerly as well, or some others. And I contacted the whole team and asked to each player if they wanted to join the team XS, and most of them accepted. And that's where like um, things things were a bit more professional for me. I had good players in my team, even though I wasn't good at the game, and I had not the like legitimacy to have to handle that team and those players, because I was kind of new. I had like 6 months in the tech scene, and yeah, I mean it's really new compared to players which are playing the game for more than 5, 6, 7 years. And once I had that team, I wanted to create a good tournament because the tech scene was almost dead at that time. It was kind of the worst year of Trackmania. And my idea of kind of push away ESL from tournaments, because that was the point, was because ESL was organizing 2 or 3 tournaments per year, but there was no cash prize, and they weren't working on getting some. So I've asked XS if they wanted to put some cash prize on XS Trackmania Championship, which was the first tournament and I administrated. And yeah, so XS gave me 400 euros. Then I contacted Johnny, as you said, to get a website. I got like Scary as well, which is still working with me on ProLeague for the map testing. And yeah, I mean, for those who played XSTC, I've like not created, but added the pick and ban thing, which was a great idea, I think, for a team tournament. There was as well a double elimination system, and yeah, so I tried like to bring some new ID to the scene, and also develop the competitive scene a little bit more, even though it was still a little competition compared to the whole esport world. But yeah, the point was like having back a competition where there are like some like there was a point to play, even though the cash prize was not that big. Uh, it was better than nothing, like ESL did in the past, with having like hosting 2 months tournament without any cash prize, and that was the real point of XSTC at first, like just motivate other competitions to get some cash prize, and let's try to have a good scene back competitive, a good competitive scene back. And yeah, I mean, here we are now with the Pro League, but I will come to Pro League a bit later. But yeah, if you compare me to, for example, Massin, which is hosting now GC, I'm like super new compared to him in the tech scene. And yeah, like it has been really great 2 years, and I'm not even now like I don't even realize that I've been achieving so much in 2 years on that game, even though I knew nobody 2 years ago on the scene, and now I kind of know everybody, I would say.
And why do you think so? Because most people in the scene at the moment are sort of people who has been there for 5 to 10 years and created a network over that time. You're, as you said, for 2 years, and you pretty much know everybody, and pretty much everybody knows you. Why do you think that you had such a steep hill?
Well, I would say the fact that I was new to the scene, it was kind of refreshing for the scene. Um, Not being like arrogant or anything. It's just that the fact that people were like getting used to playing fun tournaments like ESL, or just winning an ESL was a good reward. But for me, esport is nothing without having a good prize money for the players. And coming into the scene and seeing that people were like enjoying playing fun tournaments and playing 6 to 7 hours a day to train and to win ESL was kind of, I would say, meh for me. My point was like I've playing Trackmania for 10 years. Okay, I know the game, I know how it works. I don't know the tech scene, I don't know anybody, but I don't care. Let's just create a tournament where players can have a little reward, even though it was not that much. Like I said, it was 400 euros for a tech tournament, so it was not even like close to a good cash prize. But let's try to create that tournament with a cash prize, and let's add some new ideas coming from a player that doesn't know the tech scene and the whole game, and let's see how the players react to it. It was kind of I would say I will compare it to like Zerator. He didn't knew really the game or the scene, but he just created his thing, and he told himself, let's just see what the pro will do on it. And it was kind of the same thinking for me. Just create my thing. If it don't work, well, I tried, but at the end it worked. And I mean, yeah, the little thing I would say that was good for the scene was that the fact that I was new to the scene and bringing some new ideas, and just don't care about anything. Just do your competition and let's see how it.
So you think being new to the scene is it was easier to get support from, let's say, the people that's been there for a long time because there's a new guy who can actually make something. Let's go behind him and support him.
I wouldn't say that, because actually at the time of XSTC, nobody talked to me. Not like the players and everything. I was just the founder of XSTC, administrating the thing. But like I didn't had the same connection that I have now on the Pro League, I would say. Me talking to the players almost every day, having a close connection to them to know what they need, what they want. So yeah, being new was good in a way to like pushing the other competitions to grow a little bit more, but it wasn't that good on the player on the game itself because I was a bit shy, I would say, to go to talk to the top players, which I was looking like 5 or 6 years ago when I was playing NASCAR. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a good thing, but also a little like not really a good thing. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was yeah. I mean, I've said everything about it.
If we're gonna close the sort of chapter on XS Team Cup, why do you think that we don't see it anymore? What is the reason for that?
I had a lot of discussions with a lot of people about that. But for me, if you want my honest answer about that, Trackmania is not a team game competitively. I would say it's good to have like team competitions, um, but for example, I would say KOTG is really good, and that's where I would say maybe there is a place for a team tournament in the esport Trackmania. But when you see, I mean, I will be honest during that interview and maybe say some things that people won't like. But having those tournaments like ESL, CPS, like, well, all the team tournaments where you have 3v3, 4v4, 5v5, like the PTC or everything, for me, that's not the good way to get TM bigger on the esports scene. It's good to have like those little competitions, those fun competitions, with like the whole team playing a tournament. But for me, that's not the good way to make the Trackmania bigger on the esports scene. And I've argued a lot with some people. For example, like I said, Massin, the guy from Makeup. We had a long discussion where like he was focused on, okay, we can make something with the team tournaments, and I was like, no, that's just how do we say that to be that's just bad. I mean, Trackmania is a solo game in my point of view. And if we want to get Trackmania bigger, we have to do solo events, and that's how it works. Okay, XS Trackmania Championship was good. I liked it, even though there was a lot of mistakes for myself. But I didn't enjoy the end of the competitions, and that's why from that experience from XSTC, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna put any more efforts on team tournaments, and let's just go to create the biggest and the most prestigious Trackmania solo events, which is the Trackmania ProLeague now. Yeah, so that's my point of view on the team tournaments. I would say it's good. We have to get some, but that's not how Trackmania will grow, I would say.
So what is the difference in the way solo events can help the game, which team events cannot help the game?
Well, the biggest issue I have with team tournament, it's not the tournament itself. It's about the teams that are playing the tournaments. To be that's why KOTG was pretty good, or like even MML was, even though MML was not that a team tournament, it was kind of team and solo since it was 1v1. But the point was the teams that are playing those tournaments often have like plus 10 members in their lineup, and like for example MNM or like some other like you, I think, and so much more teams. And if we want to get Trackmania bigger, we need to have those big organizations joining the game. That's how esports work. If the game is interesting for the organizations, they will come at some point in the game and join it. And that's how, like, for example, we have GamersOrigin or Big, Zerator. Like, if you see, you look at the game and the teams, the biggest organizations don't have like 10, 15 players in their lineup, except M&M, I would say. Or like, I think Orcs reduced it and don't have that much players now. But for example, GamersOrigin, we have 5 players. Isuba, they have like 2 or 3. Zerator have 2. eCorp now reduced it to I think 6 or 7. So yeah, I mean, team tournaments are fine. I don't have any issue with that. But if you want to play team tournaments, most of the time you have to have like a 10-member lineup, and that's how you win the game, I would say, competitively. Like, an organization will never recruit plus 10 members, and that's how esport works. If we want to get Trackmania bigger, we need big organizations, and that's why I'm totally against organizing a team tournament again.
So I believe this is the reason why you started the Trackmania ProLeague. Can you take us behind the scenes and tell us how did this sort of event come to life? Because it is the most prestigious event at the moment.
Well, at the time, I think it was 1 year ago. Yeah, it was exactly 1 year ago. I launched it in June 2017. So yeah, exactly 1 year ago. I had the issue, like, when I'm thinking about creating a new competition, it was the same for XSTC. I'm looking at the scene, and what's missing to the game? Okay, we have team tournaments without cash prize, which is useless and will not get the game bigger. Okay, we have LANs like Gamers Assembly, Gaming Interfest, and some other. We lost ESWC. Okay, that's not an issue. Let's just forget about that and move on, because a lot of people or like all players left the game because there was no ESWC anymore. Okay, ESWC was a good thing. We lost it. I mean, it's sad, but we have to move on and just don't let the game alone. I mean, the game has great how to say that, qualities to get into the esports scene. And I mean, okay, we lost a big probably the biggest tournament, and okay, that's a big issue. And that's when the black here started, when ESWC was left the game. And okay, we had the LANs, we had the team tournaments, but we were missing a thing on the game. It was not kind of like a solo tournament, which kind of mixed the LAN and the team tournaments. So I took the idea of a LAN by the format and everything, 1v1, v1, v1, because for me that's the best format Trackmania has right now. And I took the idea of a league or an elimination or a bracket like team tournaments have, and I mixed that, and that's where I created Trackmania ProLeague. We had a strong 1v1 v1 tournament, which was on 2 or 3 months, and where players could have. And I mean, I had the idea. The idea was completely finished, but the thing is, I didn't wanted to start this competition without any cash prize. Again, my point of view is, if a competition doesn't have a cash prize, that's not esport. That's not a competition. That's a fun event. I know I have kind of a strict view of the competitions on Trackmania, but for me, if you don't have any cash prize or any reward for the winner of your tournament, that's a fun event. There is no point, and that's why. Well, we will come to it later when we will talk about the lineup of GamersOrigin. But that's why you don't see us playing like PTC or probably the upcoming TMO. I don't know about CPS. Maybe we'll play it. But that's why you don't see us playing those events, because I don't have any reasons to ask to my players train hours and hours on maps to win an event and then get nothing from it. Now we are on kind of a new scene with huge cash prize and huge competitions upcoming with the GC, Chain Pro League, Gamers Assembly, Zero Tour Cup, and everything. And there are no reasons for my players to play fun events or at least put some time on those maps. And that's why you don't see us on team tournaments. But to come back to Pro League, I had the ID and I contacted Nadeo. The ID was nice for them, and they gave me 1,000 euro for that first season, and 1,000 for the second season as well. The plan was 2,000 euros for the whole year, and the plan of Trackmania ProLeague was having 2 seasons during 1 year. So yeah, Nadeo accepted, and then ProLeague was born with all the things the qualifications, which were really bad. The idea was really bad, where we saw, for example, Pac get beaten by Shorty or Spam getting beaten by Cardi and everything. But yeah, the main idea was having huge competitions online and not offline at the start. Huge competition online, which will make the players stay on the game for the whole year. And yeah, I mean that's the plan right now.
So you hosted one event before asking Nadia to support you with, let's say, 2,000 euros. In what way did you contact them, and how did you actually make that come true? Because it is a lot of money after just hosting one event.
Um, well, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's easy. It was easy, but kinda. I made a document. I wrote a document myself about the competition itself. Why Nadeo should invest in that competition? What was the good reward for Nadeo and for the players? And they kinda like it. Like I sent them the document last year, and like probably two weeks after, I had an answer, and Nadeo was okay to support me, even though they like I didn't knew them and they didn't know me, but they liked the idea and they saw that I was motivated enough to put Trackmania back again on the scene, on the esports scene. And yeah, I would say it was kind of easy because the project was good, I would say, and my document was good as well. Not being arrogant again, but I've put a lot of effort on it. When I do something and I want it, I put I didn't even count how much hours I had on that document, but probably I would say 20, 30 hours on it to get things good and ready. And yeah, like Nadeo supported me, and they still support the Pro League, so that's insane.
Looking back at the two first season, what can you tell us about him? Did it go as expected, better, worse, or how would you summarize it?
I'm not happy at all about the two first season to be honest.
Why?
Because like now that Pro League is settled and everything is ready and everything is perfect in my vision, I see all the mistakes I've done on the two first season of Pro League, but also the XSTC. Um, for example, the first season, I've made so many changes on the rules that was insane. Like every week, I was saying to the players, "Okay, that will change, and that was like super bad for me." And but it was kind of a test season, I would say. Um, and there was too many things that were bad that I couldn't now summarize it. But yeah, season one was really bad, mainly because of the qualifications. Having Pack or Spam or Queen on the second league was like the worst thing ever. Um, I enjoyed the season though. Well, no, I enjoyed season two. Season one was like the worst competition I would say. I had like maybe 30% of the players leaving the competition or not training. So it was kind of it was shit, to be honest. But season two was really good. Well, at least a little bit better, I would say, mainly because there was only one league. Uh, but still, there was a lot, like not having a website, for example, was the worst thing to feel like people had to follow the competition on Discord. I mean, just by that fact, the season was bad. Now that we have a website, I'm like really happy about that. But yeah, the first 2 seasons were bad in a lot of way, but it was a like like you say, learn from your mistakes, and I think the 2 first seasons were there like to get that that third season to where it is now.
So what sort of changes has you made into the season 3 if you think that season 1 and 2 were bad?
Well, first, I have a much closer connection with the players. I'm trying to listen to them a lot more than I did on season 1 or season 2. Like I said, I kind of talk to them every day. We have a website now. We have our social networks, which are kind of active, even though it could be a bit more active. But that was a good point. The maps as well. We are getting better on knowing what the players want for Trackmania ProLeague maps. The format as well. It's a little bit more fair because the last season it was kind of not fair for some players because some of them were meeting, for example, Carl Jr. 3 or 4 times, and some of them were meeting well, which player I could say not being well, let's say Orel, for example. Some players had like to meet Orel 3 or 4 times, so it was kind of not fair, and that issue is now done. But yeah, like the whole competition is now feeling a little bit more professional, and that was the point. Season 1 and season 2 was good, having a good cash prize, having motivated players, but the point of Trackmania ProLeague was to be a professional competition, and I think we achieved that on season 3. That's why I'm a little bit more happy about the season 3 than the past seasons.
Yeah. And sort of the story of 2018 has been the rumors about Trackmania getting back at Paris Games Week. Not too long ago, you broke the news that it actually will happen. How did you make it, like, say, the Trackmania back at there? How did you make that come true?
So the people didn't know about it, but the players knew about it. I said I won't host a season 3 if I don't have offline playoffs. It can seems a bit harsh, but like I said, the first 2 seasons were fine and fun, but I wanted to take a step up and take like stepping up the competition and have a big offline competition. I contacted some big European lands. I had some answer, but then well, some good answers, and I cannot say the name, but you may see them coming up in this year or next, well, in 2019 or 2020. But like a lot, just know that a lot of lands are interested in getting Trackmania into their land. But then Nadeo come to me. I still have one contact at Nadeo, which I'm kind of speaking daily. But Nadeo came to me and said, "Okay, Trackmania Pro League was good. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was good. We enjoy working with you. And now we have a proposition for you. Um, um, we can have Trackmania Pro League at Paris Games Week again, not with ESWC of course, but with Ubisoft. And I think like they thought it was nice to propose me because well, I was working with them for almost 1 year, and Trackmania Pro League was probably the best competition out there, and probably better than just creating a new tournaments like USWC or World Cup, because that will have asked way too much work. So they asked me if I wanted to do it, and of course I said yes, because of course by Games Week is not a real LAN to the eyes of some people, but in my point of view, well, saying that Paris Games Week is first the biggest video game event in France is like super sick. And if we can like bring some people that came only for the Paris Games Week to watch some Trackmania competitive matches, I mean that will be the best thing ever. And that's why I mainly accepted, even though I had some other propositions. But yeah, I'm super happy about that. Bringing back Paris Games Week to the top players. So yeah, I mean, super happy about that.
Will the sort of performance of this event affect, let's say, the other possible offline events, or are they sort of they don't watch this event?
Sorry, I did not understand the question.
You said that there are possible other big offline events
Mm-hmm.
that might want Trackmania to join. Are they sort of
Yeah.
looking at Paris Games Week to see how it runs and how much attention it gets, or are they sort of just don't care about it and still are interested in Trackmania?
No, they will surely watch the Trackmania ProLeague. First because I announced already to the players the season 4, and I said again, I won't launch the season 4 before being sure of having playoffs at LAN. So yeah, they will watch the how Pro League goes at Paris Games Week and how much visibility it gets, and I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, to be honest, that they will be still interested watching the Pro League and the results of that competition. But I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we'll have those names like I said, um, getting getting Trackmania at their event.
And you're saying these kind of things that you won't put season 3 without an offline event and now season 4 without an offline event. That's
Yeah.
not putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Do you feel sort of stressed, or is it just you like that sort of thing?
I don't feel stressed about it, but it asks a lot of work. It takes a lot of my time. Um, that's for sure. And I've said it like a lot of times. But okay, it's fun to us Pro League to put so much time. It's still fun, but it's less fun than the first season, of course. But yeah, it's fun to host that event. I like bringing a huge competitions for the top players. I like uh, bringing back them to them the Paris Games Week, and I'm still motivated, like super motivated to keep that Pro League at the top. But at some point, and it's like I lost motivations sometimes because it was taking a lot of time from me, especially on season 2. I remember like my whole weekend was about Pro League, and same this year. My whole my whole summer is about Pro League and getting the things done. Um, so yeah, it takes a lot of time. I study as well, so I have to mix them. I also handle the GamersOrigin stream, so that as well takes me time. But I love it. I mean, I don't feel like I'm close to stopping Pro League. I still love it, and I think I will still love it until then I get what I want. My big well, my view of the next years for Pro League is having a lot more cash prize at great European LAN, and yeah, allowing the players to leave from Trackmania. That will be a huge like I will be happy if that happens. Um, so yeah, until then, I will still working and put so much time on Pro League, even though like I said a lot of times, I would like to have well the finality of that is maybe gaining some money, of course, from while handling Pro League, because yeah, like I said, it's kind of like a work. But for now, like I don't need that money to be motivated or anything. So for now, like I mean, I will keep working that much on Pro League and put so like all of my soul on that competitions and try to get that that competitive scene at the top. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't feel any stress about it, but it surely takes me a lot of time.
What can you tell us about the playoffs in season 3? When will it take off? When will it play out, and how many people will qualify?
That question I cannot answer yet, because I myself I don't even know how it will go. Um, the things we announced, it was like it was played that it will be played at Paris Games Week. I cannot answer where or when, because I don't even know when, but probably on the weekend. Um, the point is to have 3 matches on the big scene and all the other matches on backstage, kinda like an SWC, but with 2 matches, 2 more matches on the scene. So that will make a grand final, consolidation final, and winner bracket final. And for now, the idea is bringing 16 players, so 14 from the Pro League and 2 from an outside qualifier. But I'm not sure about that. It may be 8 players, and if it's the case, if I can bring only 8 players to a Paris Games Week, the 8 players will come only from Pro League.
Okay. Can you tell us anything about the cash prize? Because at last Paris Games Week, the cash prize for Trackmania was $15,000, I believe.
The last one was 8,000. The 2015 was 8,000. So the idea I had was to at least, was to kind of get to that 8,000. We didn't announce it anywhere, but I will do it now. The players knows about it, but not the public. There will be at least 5,000 euros as cash prize on season 3, and I'm gonna work on getting like 5,000 more. So the point will be 10,000.
That's kind of a big from where you started until now, and just 2 years later, right?
Yep, definitely. I mean, getting like even 5,000 would be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Like we have, like, I can say that there will be at least 5,000, but I will be happy with at least 10,000.
well, that easily makes it the biggest event in Trackmania, because I think Giant Cup is at second place with 3,000 euros this year.
Yeah, there is not that, like, it's not a competition of having the biggest cash prize, but yeah, if you want to, like, if I want to have the most prestigious Trackmania event, of course the cash prize has to follow the competition.
If you don't know how that much about the playoffs, what can you tell us about the qualification, sort of the group stage? You made it into Group A and Group B this year. Why is that?
So like I said, I wasn't happy about the format on season 2, so I completely rethink the season 3 format. It's kind of complicated, so I will try to summarize it in vocal. But if you didn't understand, I'll let you check out the rule book on the website. But now, like, it's 3 stages. The first one is having those 2 groups, Group A and Group B, 12 players per each group. Top 7 advance to the next stage, so stage 2. And the last 5 players from each group will play a bracket on a Sunday, and only the top 2 of that bracket will join the 14 players on stage 2. So we'll have 16 players on stage 2, and the 8 last players are completely eliminated from Pro League and are not allowed to play the outside qualifiers for Paris Games Week if there is one. Then we have stage 2, which is again a league phase with the 16 players, and top 8 goes to Paris Games Week. And then we have 8 players left for 6 spots. So I'm cutting those 8 players into 2 matches, so 4 and 4, and top 3 of each matches go to Paris Games Week. If we don't have 16 players at Paris Games Week, only the top 8 of the group stage and stage 2 will go to Paris Games Week. That's how it works. And about the qualifier, if there is one, that will be open to everyone who wants to participate. So I have the date of the qualifier. It will be on 14th of October, if there is one. I will announce on at the end of August if we have 16 players. But if there is one, the map pack will be out on 14th of September, and the qualification, the qualifier will be 14th of October.
How did you end up with the seedings for the groups? Because that is how the groups got sort of decided.
Yep. Well, I did it alone. Simply because I didn't want like to have like those who know me, I don't like to work with a lot of people around me. That's why I put so much effort, and it takes me a lot of time because I don't like to delegate the work. I really enjoy working alone on everything. Well, mostly everything, and the things I don't know how to do, I have someone at my back. But about the seedings, I did it alone. I took the Gaming Winterfest, the Gamers Assembly, and Trackmania ProLeague Season 2. I made kind of a ranking, and it gave that seeding, those tiers you saw, and that seeding.
Have you sort of got any feedback from players who are disappointed with the seedings, or have people been acceptable about that?
Not at all, not at all. Everyone was okay with it.
Huh. What group would you say is the toughest? Is it Group A or is it Group B?
It's two completely different groups. Group A is more about well, oh, like I will check again those groups. Sorry, because so yeah, I will checking standings because I kinda like have a mistake. Okay, so Group A is more about we have like 9 or 10 players which can make it to top 7. And that's why I would like they are not the they don't have the big names, but they have like 10 players who can make it. On Group B, we have the big names like Carl Jr., Massa, Twin, Coco, Dutchy, but we kind of know who will make it. We have maybe, like I said, Speedy or Aswer who can maybe take one place, but I don't see Massa, Carl Jr., Coco, Dutchy, or even Serbi getting out from that first stage. So I would say Group A is the toughest.
So that's sort of a group that's more open and you can see surprises or you're not sure who will make it.
Definitely. I mean, I know Pack, Omnipods, Flora, Spam, and Kronos will make it, but from that, everyone can make it. I mean, Cap, Danik B, Dexter. Never mind if he trains a lot. Yo-Yo can definitely take one place. Eger is not that bad. Where on Group B, you have like those 7 top players, which are hard to beat. Maybe we'll have a surprise like Aswer, but to be honest, I don't see players like Ringoa or Silver, or even Matix taking one of those spots in the top 7.
Most of the people who have are playing this season have qualified, but some people got a wild card. Why did you
Yep.
decide to give these kind of players a wild card?
Trackmania ProLeague, like I said, is the most prestigious Trackmania competition right now, and for that I need the biggest players, the biggest active players on the game, and I want you to make sure to have them on the next season. So to have like another 24 best players on the game actually, and that's why I've asked those 7 players. I even asked Kappa, but Kappa was the only one to refuse the invitation. But yeah, the only reason was I want the 24 best players, and that's why I invited those 7 players.
And you would call these sort of 25 or 4 players, 24 players, the best players in the scene at the moment, or are
No,
somebody missing?
no. I would say we have like the 16 best players. 16, even like maybe 18. But we are missing the Lion Cast boys. Players like Beef or Troll could have been in it. Kappa as well. Maybe Kubais as well will be in it. Did I miss someone?
No, I'm not.
Maybe a Q guy, Razor could have been on it. even though he didn't perform that much last season. Symbiose, of course, like not forgetting about Symbiose. Symbiose is definitely in the top 10, and would have been nice to have him this season. But yeah, I would say we have like the top 16, top 18, but not the top 24.
You said that there can be an outside qualifiers for people who just want to go to Paris Games Week, and there
Yep.
are two spots. If you have to say, let's say, two names that can show up and just put in hours just for this event, is there any names that comes to mind?
I had the discussions with some old players, and especially one.
Okay.
First, I would say Symbiose. If he if he trains for it, he definitely have the first spot. Not an issue. I don't even see I don't see someone beating Symbiose right now. And the second spot, maybe, like I said, I talk a lot with Berge, and he was really like, well, not that motivated, but he was like, why not? And the dates fits him well, so he may participate. And if Berge trains and get a little bit of his old level back, I would say Berge as second. If Berge is not participating, I would say Symbiose and well, I don't know who will participate. I don't see Kappa participating because he's working a lot. Well, I would say Symbiose for sure, but the second one guy depends on who participates.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about season 3 before we move over to other topics? When it is starting? How can people follow it?
If you want to follow ProLeague, of course, we've released our new website some days ago, tmproleague.com. Follow as well our Twitter. We are posting a lot of things there. The new thing about season 3 is that you will be able to follow one match every like two or three matches every single day. So be sure, like, if you come I would say on Tuesday and you don't have anything to watch at night, just go on Pro League Twitch and you will probably be watching a match. So yeah, that's as well a good thing. And the players are like, I was a bit scared of players' reaction of playing during the week 2 or 3 matches, but then they, like, nobody complained, and I think that's the point where we have to move on and forget about playing only the matches on Sunday at 8 p.m. and start to play matches on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whenever we can.
Yeah,
But that's
and
it about Pro League, I would say.
yeah, and talking about Twitter, I want to say congrats of reaching 1,000 followers. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was kind of like, I didn't care that much at first about the Twitter because I was using mostly Discord. But now that we have a website and we are posting a lot of things on Twitter, I'm kind of happy about that number. But I'm definitely not stopping there.
If my last question for Trackmania ProLeague season 3,
Yep.
who's the winner of it?
You want my GamersOrigin manager answer or my
Yeah.
Trackmania ProLeague admin answer?
Yeah, that's sort of a thing with you because you are, in fact, managing the best player in the world at the moment, Pack, and also organizing the tournament where he is playing. How is that
Yeah.
for you?
Well, first I will answer to your question. If you want, well, of course, my manager answer, I would say Pike, because he's been playing on another level for some times now. And if you want my Pro League admin answer, I would say Massa.
Masao. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people see Massa as the guy who's training a lot, getting a lot of world records, and then not performing when it's about playing against Carl Jr. or Park or some others. But I think, like, well, of course, I would want Pac to win, but I think like Massa will be the toughest opponent for Pac, more than Carl Jr. this year.
So are you saying that Carl Jr. is sort of lacking at the moment, or?
Nah, not nah. Like, we have that trio at the top.
Yeah.
But but I'm kind of the thing about Carl Jr. is that he's like has been at the top of the scene since for ages and been performing so good every single time. He kind of underperformed at the final last season, even though he won every single match. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think Carl Jr. is definitely can definitely win. But I see Pac or Massa getting the win this year.
Yeah, let's
I
hope.
hope I hope Carl Jr. will maybe try to making me lie about it, and I'm pretty sure he will. But yeah, I would say Pac and Massa.
Yeah, I will be happy if Massa win. He's my prediction of Player of the Year 2018. But getting back to the topics of managing an event and managing a team, does that sort of make something hard for you, or are you good at sort of splitting between the two?
Yeah, it's really weird. Of course, because like I'm having my players in my competition, so of course I won't like get them some advantages. That's like I mean I don't even have to say it. I can make the separation between those two rocks, but um, I would say I kinda put much more time on Pro League than the team right now. But once the competition will start, I will kinda go back to my manager or coach situation and be behind my players. That will kinda be weird as well at the Paris Games Week because I will go there at as the organizer, but also as the manager, and I'm here to see my players perform. And so yeah, that's kind of a weird situation. Um, but I don't. I can make the separation.
Yeah.
Even though I kinda prefer being a manager than a pro league organizer.
So your if you had to sort of make every wish come true, you would in the future somebody else organizing big cups, and you can just focus on your big team in the future.
If I have to make a choice, yeah, I will choose being a manager of Gamers Origin and
And,
not the pro league organizer.
and how did this Gamers Origin come into Trackmania? How was the process of finding that team?
Kinda long compared, for example, to getting Nadeo as a sponsor. It's completely the opposite. So as you know, and as you've heard, for example, by Orwell or even Papu, I don't know if Papu talked about Excess, but we left Excess. I think it was a little bit before after season one, so I would say December of the last year. And at that time, I had in the lineup I had Cap, Coco, Aurel Papu, Shorty, Marius, and I think some others. Maybe Karu was here at that time as well. But I took the decision to kick all the international players and keep only the French players. So that's where Shorty and Marius had to go. And then I was more working on season 2 than looking for an organization for the team. So the team has been like without an org for almost 2 or 3 months. Um, and if you want the real answer, to be honest, I was really close to not working on getting a new organization for the team because at that time, if you asked me the question of choosing between being a manager or a pro league organizer, I would have said 100% being a Trackmania ProLeague organizer. Um, but then I took like 1 hour with myself and telling myself, I mean, you have great players in the lineup. Um, you've got 2 semi-finalists of one finalist and one semi-finalist of the Retro Cup of last year. You can definitely find something for the team. So um, I told the players, okay, we are on January 2018. Let me 1 month, and I will find you a big organization. And if I don't, I will just let you go in the team you want. So all the players told me, okay, we trust you. So I took 1 month. I worked like during one whole week on a document again. I worked alone on it, writing what the team could bring to the organization, presenting also Trackmania, presenting the esports scene, presenting the players, the achievements we've done, and yeah, everything. Like I think it was 10 pages of text. Thierry helped me about on it as well, but was mostly did by me. And yeah, so I took 1 week and I sent the document to maybe 200 organizations. So yeah, that's a big number. And if you want to know, on 200 organizations, I had 2 positive answers. And not even 2 positive answers, 1 positive answer, which was Oserve, the team that now have Wingobi and everything. So I told to the team, okay, I have Oserve now. They are okay to take us, to give us some money for the lands and everything. So I don't know if a lot of people knows about it, but we've been playing with the Oserve tag for almost 1 week. And the thing is, I had 1 positive answer, but I as well had an kind of average answer from GamersOrigin, from the big manager of GamersOrigin, which is Jan Cedric. And he told me, okay, I really enjoyed your document. You've put a lot of effort on making it, and the game seems interesting, and the scene is like interesting for us. And I was like, okay, is it real? Like GamersOrigin, because GamersOrigin is actually one of the biggest French organization. Um, and I was like, okay, how is that possible that a big organization in France is interested in picking up a Trackmania lineup? So I was like, okay, that's super sick. Let's not ruin it and making things too fast. So actually, that Chance Redwick guy, he told me, okay, he asked me if we were still interesting, and of course I said yes. Like even though we were already with Oser, I was like, it's not even comparable. It's like you are playing, I don't know, in a second league, Division 2 league team, and you have that FC Barcelona coming to you and say, okay, do you want to play for us? I would say, I mean, even though you like the first your first team, because Oserve was really nice with us, I was like, okay, like we cannot ruin that chance and just go for it. And he told us, well, I told definitely, okay, we are still interested, and we will be so proud to represent you on Trackmania. And then we like that guy, Jan Cedric, he didn't send an email for almost 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, it's done. We will never join GamersOrigin. I think it was just like it was a mail which they said that they were interested, but they didn't wanted to pick us up. But then after 2 weeks, he sent me, okay, I've talked to my associate. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, the guy he's working with.
Yep.
And they are all okay to pick you up in the team. And then I had okay, I was like, oh my god, is this happening? I mean, are we gonna really join GamersOrigin? And I kind of, that's where I felt the stress, because that was something I never had on on my career. I mean, I was on the scene for 1 year. I had players that had like maybe 1,000 times my level on the game. I had zero legitimacy to be the captain of that lineup, but still, I was able to find a new home for that lineup. And for like 1 week, we've been having like a lot of vocal discussions with GamersOrigin. We negotiated. Well, I negotiated with them to bring the players and myself in their enterprise. And yeah, that's where we ended up. that's how we ended up in GamersOrigin. Yeah, it took me like 1 month and a half, but yeah, we joined them on February 2018, right before the Gaming Winterfest. Um, and yeah, I mean, yep, that's it.
Yeah. And you joined, if I remember correctly, just French players, and then Pac joined later. How was the sort of process of getting Pac, the world champion from 2016, into your team?
That was kind of as well weird. Um, we were in GamersOrigin. I have Coco, who can be a really great tech player. I have Cap, who can do like good results but not winning. Aurel and Papu are good on, like Aurel is a strong ZHE player, but an average tech player. And I have Papu, the best player on the world, and also a good ZHE player. But I'm missing someone who can win events, who can win major titles for GamersOrigin. And to be quite honest, I mean, even though GamersOrigin wasn't expecting a lot from us, except being the best French lineup on the game, I was like, okay, we have to give them something great and something big. And that's when I talked a bit with Carl Jr. Uh, it was like he was already in the rotor, and I said to Carl Jr., because I was talking at that time with him. I'm still talking with him, but I was like, okay, um, I need I need a strong player, like maybe the strongest player on the tech scene. And when I think about it, the only names that come to me is Pac. Um, and like kind of a chance. Expert disbanded at that time, exactly at that time, when I was looking for a strong player. So I remember Massa coming to me and asking to join GamersOrigin, and we are laughing to it now because I said to him, "No, I don't want you. I will prefer seeing you joining a big organization than having you and Pac in GamersOrigin." And now he's playing in for big. I mean, like we are laughing about it, but I think it was kind of my best decision to not recruit Massa, even though he's a great player. And then Pac came to me maybe like 3 or 4 days before Massa, um, because Carl Jr. told him, I think he told him that I was interested in getting him in GamersOrigin. And he came to me, he said, okay, I left, well, I was not in expert anymore. I'm looking for an organization which can send me on every single LAN. And I said, well, do I have to transfer you? To be honest, I mean, you are the best player right now. I need someone who can win big events, and you are the best guy for now. Um, so it did go quick, but we had one issue, is that GamersOrigin didn't want it to pick back. Um, like I said in my story about joining GamersOrigin, I have that connection with Jan Cedric, which is the big manager, like handling all the lineups in GamersOrigin, and that's my referent. And I came to him, okay, I can bring one more player in the lineup, and probably the best player on the world. The only thing he wants is getting him to the lands, and so that he can like participate to all the lands. And as well, it was like there was one thing special for Pac. Uh, he didn't care that much about paying his travels or everything. The thing he wanted was having like a PC for him, um, and that's why he didn't play the lands in France, because his PC wasn't that good and couldn't like support that travel. Or I mean, yeah, he wanted a PC for lands. And yeah, I mean, at some point, Jan Cedric didn't like said no. GamersOrigin don't want to have one more player, especially that he's from UK, and the travels will like be expensive. Um, but then like during 1 week, I was like, we have to pick that guy up. We have to pick it because someone else will pick it, and you will see that we will regret it after. And after 1 week of negotiation with GamersOrigin, they said, okay, yes, we take back. And the thing is, I told them, I remember that sentence. I told that Cedric guy, okay, I bring you the best player on the game. Trust me, if you pick him up, he will win Gamers Assembly. You like, if he don't, just kill me. And they said, okay, we pick him up, we send him to GA, and we sent him to GA, and he won. I mean, and then like GamersOrigin was like, okay, it was a good choice. He won the Pro League, he won the GA, he won KOTT with us, he won MML with us. Like he's winning everything since he's in GamersOrigin. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of hard to get him in the team, but yeah, probably the best choice I had at the time.
Yeah, and Pack winning Gamers Assembly makes him one of two who has won Gamers Assembly and the World Cup. Where do you sort of place him in the list of the best of all time?
I know that people often put Carl Jr. As the best, and I would say the same. I would say like if I have to make a standing, but I'm kind of new to the scene. That's why maybe I have a different view of the scene, and I don't see like Frostball as being the biggest Trackmania player. And yeah, for sure, my standing is not really important. But I will put Carl Jr. first because just simply he won the ESWC. I will put Pack second, and yeah, probably Frostball as third. Yeah.
But going back to you saying that you didn't want Pack and Massa on the same team, is this because you want more organization in Trackmania, or is there something else?
No, that was the only purpose of me rejecting Massa. I don't want to. Even though the best player will come to me right now and say, okay, I want to join the Gamers Origin, I will say like, no, just find a big organization, bring a big organization on the game, and that's how I will be happy. If you are better than Pack, no problem. Maybe I will regret it, but just bring some new organizations, and I don't want to have like expert had just picking all the best players of the scene and putting them in the same team, and then having only one big organization on the game. That's like, and I said it like multiple times. Expert leaving the game was the best thing happening in the last years because they had all the best players, and that was just killing the game. And now we have like Carl Jr. in Zerot or Pack in Gamers Origin, big taking Massa. Maybe Serbia will join a Danish organization as well as Spam, uh, which maybe join how do you say, Dutch organization. So yeah, like Aurora as well joining eCorp. So now, like like I said, expert leaving the game was probably the best thing on Trackmania last year, because now we have a lot of organization, even though it would be nice to have a little bit more. But yeah, that's why I completely rejected the Massa being a Gamers Origin guy. I really like Massa. I mean, we are talking almost every day. He's a great guy, but now I still don't regret not having him in the Gamers Origin because now he's just rocking it in big, and I hope he will bring a huge success to big.
You're sort of, I don't know, being a team leader in Trackmania, you often see the player having a good level himself, but you said it before that you are not a good driver. How does it
Mhm.
feel being leading someone that is way better than you driving? Like being in charge of somebody that is on another level?
It's hard. It's hard because you don't have the legitimacy to say to them, like for example, I would take maybe CS as an example, where a coach can say, okay, that like here you played bad, you have to do that. When I have to say that to maybe like Pack or Coco or Cap, I'm like, do I have the legitimacy to say that? Like, you did that wrong. Okay, you did as well that wrong. You have to do that. But I mean, I'm not good at the game. I'm probably like don't know the game as much as they do, and I'm sure of that. But yeah, it's hard at the start. And I had a discussion with the players, like not that long ago, where I kind of said to them, okay, I know I don't have the legitimacy to be your captain, to coach you, or even to manage you. Uh, and I feel that kind of like I was kind of, I mean, in a bad mood, and I was close to just leaving the team, just by the fact that I felt more and more that feeling of being not legitimate at my place. And I had a discussion with all the players, um, and they were like, "We understand, okay. Of course, I mean, you are not as good as us. You don't know the game as good as us. Um, but we really enjoyed having you at our side, and we wouldn't see the team without you." And those words bring my motivation back. And yeah, so before the discussion, I was like coaching as well, so maybe giving some advice, especially to Cap, which have some mental issues during his matches. And after that discussion, I was more like, okay, I'm not gonna coach you anymore. You do everything you want during your matches. The only thing I want is you to win, and don't have any regret about your performances. But I won't like criticize your way of playing, your mistakes. That's your job. I'm here to like put you in the best situation coming to an event, and I will be here to like handling your planning, trying to find you matches, training matches. Um, like for example, I would take an example. For example, at the Zerature Cup, I was like putting a like we had the planning for everyone, each players, and I had to come up at that time. And I think that's a good way as well to like. I don't have that part, for example, as Nevermind or Honey or some other where they are a captain and they play, and they have the legitimacy to say, okay, you played bad, okay, you've done that bad. I can't. I just can't. I tried, and I can't because I don't feel I can say that, or I yeah I cannot say to Cap, you played bad here, or Coco, you have to do that. So I let that job to them. My job in the team is um, like having a link between GamersOrigin and the players, of course. So if they have an issue, they come to me and I go to GamersOrigin. But I have also that I have, well, I brought a French word in that sentence. I don't even know why. I have that role of I handle their plannings. Um, if they have like, I'm trying to find them train matches. So yeah, if I would summarize my role in the team is um, I have to bring them as like ready at each competition so that they can win. But once they are in their matches, I don't have any word to say to them, except for example tournaments like KOTT where I call the crashes and everything. But once they are in their matches, I'm not anymore like I don't say anything about their performances. Of course, if they don't perform, I will be like, okay, you've played that bad. You were not that fast. We are not that regular. Okay, we have to work on that. And then my job is to help them getting better on that point, that point. But at some point, it's up to them to perform during matches. I cannot do much about that.
You're saying that you think team events in Trackmania is not the way to go, and I think as an outsider, I feel like being a team captain is sort of picking the lineup that is gonna play in each round. Do you agree with that? That the main role as a team captain is to pick the lineup that's played in team events, and that this role will go away if team events go away.
The specificity of the lineup is that we have Papu. which is a dirt player, and Zerachi as well. We have Oral, which is mainly a Zerachi player and was a tech player, but now is a dirt player. And then I have Coco, Cap, and Pack, which are fully tech players. So I don't have a team. I don't handle a team. I handle like players. Each one is like each one of those players is different. They don't play the same tournaments. They don't play the same style of map. And my point is, I want to have the best players in each style. I have the best dirt player. I have the best tech player. We don't have the best Zerachi player, but I hope that next year maybe Oral or Papu will be able to win. But we are not like M&M, Lioncast, eCorp having like mainly only tech players and players that will play on team tournaments, and that's why we are not playing a lot of like not a lot. We are not playing any team tournaments except MML and KOTT because the lineups are really short, only 5 players. But we cannot like play PTC, for example. I have 3 tech players. Maybe Oral can play, so 4. And then how do I do? I mean, I won't recruit new players just to play a PTC or a CPS or, I mean, my the like a lot of people ask me if I'm working on recruiting a new player. I mean, why do I why I would recruit a new player? I have the best tech player and I have the best dirt player. Full speed, in my point of view, is dead. Competitively, it's still a good style to play on fun, but I kind of have a strict view about full speed, and I would say that full speed is not a competitive style. Canyon was a nice competitive scene, but now is dead. And that's why I'm not recruiting, for example, a full speed player or a Canyon player. The 2 styles that are the 3 styles that are important to have in your lineup is one tech, dirt, and Zerachi. And for now, I have the best in what they do. So I don't see any new recruitment. And I would say we are kind of the only lineup to have, well, not anymore. Like Venture have now Fire, or eCorp have JRM now as well. But I think we'll shift to the idea of having a team with 1 or 2 dirt players, 1 or 2 tech players, and some ZH players, and not having only tech players like we had in the past.
But do you think that this team is missing somebody can bring publicity to the game? Because we see Twitch getting bigger and bigger and people following more and more random streams, and just maybe Trackmania will someday get big there as well. Are you sort of looking for a streamer to recruit?
Nope. Because right now the only 2 streamers that are worth to recruit are Spam and Carl Jr. Carl Jr. is in Zerator, and Spam, I don't feel the need to recruit him as a streamer. If I want to recruit Spam, and I told him like, if I had 1 spot in GamersOrigin, that would have been maybe my first choice. But we don't. But yeah, I don't see the point of recruiting a streamer right now because, okay, it's good, but I mean, GamersOrigin don't need a streamer. They have a channel, an Hearthstone channel already, and they don't ask us to stream. They just want the result on the road. And I'm streaming time to times our competitions, but I don't feel the need to recruit a streamer in the lineup.
But how do you see Trackmania getting publicity? Is it to get big events, or is it to get popular streamers to create events?
Um, I think it's a mix of both. We have to use, for example, the Outer Cup to make tech event bigger, or competitive event bigger. I see a lot of the Steam criticizing Zerator or his community, but you have to remember that if Trackmania is where it's now, it's mainly because of Zerator, and we cannot deny it. If Pro League has now Private Games Week and a lot of cash prize, it's mainly because of Zerator Cup. If we are in Gamers Origin, it's mainly because of Zerator Cup. So we cannot deny that Zerator Cup was probably the biggest event Trackmania, and we have to use that to develop as well. And I think that's the point of Zerator. He's making that event to kinda bring the visibility on, like, the spotlights on Trackmania, so that the community can work on that and use that to develop the esports scene on the side. But yeah, I would say it's a mix of both things you said.
I just want to bring up something because when I had Pac on and him speaking about going to Gamers Assembly for the first time, being in Origin, he spoke about it as a family. And I also had Papu and Oral on, and then talking about the boot camps. Do you, how do you sort of view the Gamers Origin as a whole organizations between different games?
Um, I won't lie. We were a bit scared when we joined Gamers Origin, because we are like, uh, will we like be at the level they ask? Um, but then Gamers Assembly came up, uh, and the thing is, when we joined Gamers Origin, they said to us, "Okay, you are not joining an organization; you are joining a family. So everything you will do at Gamers Origin, you will do it with all the lineups, all the stuff, and you need, that's an important part. You really need to, like, not being shy, not being like in your like, just staying with your teammates and try to talk with all the lineups." And I've listened to the oral podcast where he said, like, for example, at Gamers Assembly, we had the League of Legends lineup just behind us, and I remember when Pac played his final, there was one or two League of Legends player watching the final and cheering up for Pac, and we did the same during the League of Legends final, and that's where, like, I think the players are seeing Gamers Origin as a family, and I do it now. It's mainly because all the lineups are kinda cheering up for each one, and yes, there is as well. We are coming back to that guy Jan Cedric, which is handling all the lineups. Um, he's like putting us in such a good position, and not putting us like pressure when we play for Gamers Origin. We just play, and if we can achieve what they ask, it's perfect. If we don't, like, of course they won't be happy, but they won't like be, okay, well, we are kicking you, or it's kind of like, do do what you can do, and if it's good, well, that's nice, and if it don't, well, we will be here to tell you that it's not good enough, but we will still be behind you and supporting you. And as well, like, for example, that bootcamp, um, I had that idea of bootcamp, and I came up to Gamers Origin. I told them, okay, we have Zerator Cup, we have those qualifications at those days, and I think that would be good for the players to have a bootcamp, once 1 week bootcamp, and that's something completely new for Trackmania. And the players were like kind of surprised that they accepted, and I was as well. But I think in the mood where, like, Gamers Origin puts us is just insane, and that's why we are winning and everything we are playing right now in Gamers Origin, is because we don't have that pressure behind us of not performing or anything else. We are just playing and we are winning. I mean, it's working. So yeah, definitely Gamers Origin is a family, and we kind of know everyone now in the, like, even the other lineups. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's perfect, and like Pac said to me, it's probably his best experience in an organization. So yeah, I mean, if Pax is happy or even the players are happy, I'm happy too.
What kind of feedback did you get at Gamers Assembly or after Gamers Assembly from the Gamers Origins admins because you took the two titles that was possible for you to take?
Well, again, I told Gamers Origin we are going to that Gamers Assembly, and we will win those two events, 100%. I have that kind of uh, how do you say that? But yeah, I say the things, and when I say it, it's mainly because I'm pretty sure of it. And in that position, I saw how Papu trained, I saw how Pac trained, and I came up to GamersOrigin. Okay, we have Papu, the best dirt player. We have Pac, the best dirt player, the tech player. And I tell you now, we will win those two events, and we did. Um, and it was kind of weird for them because they didn't knew the game. It was the first time they saw some matches, so we had kind of to explain them how the games work. And like when they saw how the game works, they were like, "That's the best, one of the best games, esport game we ever seen." And they didn't knew any like nothing about it. But like Trackmania is so good that even people that don't know about it, while they are watching one matches, they understand it super quickly, and it's like so fucking good. I mean, it, like the rounds were super sick. You can see when there are like sick rounds when two people are super close. So yeah, it was kind of um, mixed feelings about it. Of course, they were super happy, and I was as well. We were super happy because we made them now they are really interested about Trackmania. We are not a secondary lineup like we were probably at the start. Now we are a primary, if you could say it, primary lineup in Gamers Origin, and of course, like winning those two events at Gamers Assembly was like so good.
And you saying that these kind of people picked up on the game and saying it was awesome. How do you see Trackmania getting bigger, and how do you see the future playing out? Do you see next year getting better than this year? Like, let's say 2018 was better than 2017. Do you think 2019 will be even better?
I often say that, but 2019 will probably be one of the biggest year of Trackmania, and I'm pretty sure about it because, um, well, at least myself, I will put all I can on getting the game even bigger than it is now, especially for Pro League. But not only for Pro League, I will try to contact a lot of LANs organization and bring Trackmania to their event. That's a project I have, and I will try my best to achieve it. Um, but 2019, like I often say, is kind of like a transition year where okay, the game will step up again, and it will be a great year. But my point is, I think personally that in 2-3 years, players will be able to live with Trackmania, and I hope so. But I as well think so that players will finally be able to live with their passions, which is Trackmania. And if I have some words to say to the old players or the players which are kind of close to leave the game, just stay because 2019 will be one of the greatest year of Trackmania.
I think we have already broken the record of the longest podcast. I didn't think anybody will beat Riolo, but you beat him, and I'm running out of topics. But have you any topics you wanna sort of bring up to attention before we close the show?
Nah, I think we've talked enough already. I mean, like I said to you before the interview, I'm probably one of the guy you don't want to talk about Trackmania because I have so many things to say. And yeah, I mean, we talked about everything it was possible to talk of. Yeah, well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I was prepared for a long podcast because you said that you like to talk a lot. I remember when I had Pac on before we started, he said this is gonna be 10 minutes, and it ended up being 40 minutes. So I think, and he said he didn't want to talk too much, so I was prepared for it. But I really think people should get behind you and support you because, as I said in the intro, I think you are one of the people who can make Trackmania great again. And to, like you said, your goal is to make the game big enough for people to live out of it. And I think you are one of the few people who can actually do that. So out of respect for you, I will say I'll let you have the final word. And if you want to shout out to anybody, or you can say whatever you want, man. Go ahead.
Well, of course, thanks to you for inviting me. I truly think that your podcast is one of the things we have to work on getting more attentions of on the players themselves, and definitely one of the greatest project right now. So thanks to you for taking the time of for interviewing all those players and having their feelings of the game and everything. Thanks to the whole community for like still supporting the game, playing every day. It's mainly because of you that we can work out on getting the game bigger. Thanks to the pro the well, not the professional players, but the players which are playing Pro League right now, because um, they are supporting me a lot, and that's where I get my motivation. Um, and I truly think that, and I'm doing it for them, not for myself mainly. Well, I'm doing it a little bit for myself, but as well for them, so that those players who played that game for ages can finally have a reward of all those sessions of training, those hours of training on the game. Um, so yeah, definitely shout out to them. And of course, I won't forget my fellow players. Shout out to, of course, Coco, Aurel and Papu, which are which followed me for almost 2 years now. Um, I recruited them when I was nobody. They trusted me, and they are still trusting me. So of course, like, it's probably one of both of those guys are probably my best meetings on the game. Of course, Cap and Pack. I mean, keep winning those events, and I will be here to follow you during all those years. Yeah, I mean, well, I made the whole uh, tour of the thing, um, and yeah, shout out as well to Pex. I mean, those guy in the shadow, John the Killer, working with Draconia. That guy is just insane. The work he did for the Zero Hour Cup and all those lands. Um, Draconia is definitely even bigger than me when it comes to putting time on the tournaments. So yeah, thanks to the whole community, and I hope we will achieve great things in the next years, and I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah, that's it. And I hope to see you in Paris, man, at Paris Games Week.
Definitely.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.